It is Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. It's another episode of Walking This Way's Impact Wars podcast. Our new Face of Dallas series continue for the month of May. We very excited about that. It has been a great accomplishment for the month of May. And I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr. In the studio with me is the spicy one herself, Lady D Desiree. What's going on with you, girl?
I am wonderful. Like I mentioned earlier, grabbed that watermelon hot damn for, or not hot, watermelon moonshine for the night. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to have Miss Hayisha Nicole back on the show. It hasn't even been like, what, a month? And we're so excited to even hear all the new great things that you've got coming up. So it's going to be an exciting night for all of us.
And also, I guess in the studio with us, she's the founder of Young Lions Corporation, as well a content creator, and she will be starring filming this week for upcoming movie. It is Hayisha Nicole. Miss H Nicole, what's up with you, girl? How everything been going with you?
Hey y'all.
Let Desiree know what's been going on with. Let us know what's been going on with you. This is the last time you was here on the podcast, so go ahead and introduce yourself to this great audience here on our major platform.
What's up, you guys? As Furman said, my name is Hayisha Nicole. I am the CEO and founder of Young Lion Clothing. We make custom Crocs, custom clothing, custom accessories. I also am a content creator, a model, and I also am an inspiring actor. I'll be filming my first movie, I Got You Forever, June 1st.
Man, awesome, man. That's this coming week. This matter of fact, that's Thursday, correct? June 1st
Yes.
So you have a very productive week. So hey, we're proud of you for what you're doing.
Thank
you're
you.
still putting the work, you're steady grinding, you're not being idle, you still, mastering your goals, setting your goals. And of course, you know me, I'm a gentleman, of course. So I'm gonna let Desiree kick it off. So go ahead, Desiree.
So, like I said earlier, so excited to have you back.
Thank you.
love just watching you on social media, supporting you. Definitely wanting to know, have you reached the 7K yet? Because I'm pushing for it, girl. Like I'm pushing for you to get those followers so they can see all the great stuff that you're doing.
Yes, I appreciate it so much. You always engage with me. I need that. I appreciate it so much. I haven't reached 7K yet, but I'm pretty sure after this weekend of filming this movie, I will be there.
Well, for anybody that's listening or listens back, please go on social media, find her, follow her. She is amazing. And so we just heard you've got this movie coming up June 1st. But
yes.
I know I've been sharing and supporting another event you have coming up in June as well. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. So, Juneteenth, I will be at the Juneteenth Food Festival. It's going to be hosted by a great lady that I know, Latoya. She has a clothing line. I am a brand ambassador for her line. She'll be throwing this Juneteenth Food Festival. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be a DJ, music, food, different vendors. You'll be able to shop, bring the kids out. It's going to be a great time.
And what time does that start?
Info's on my page. Okay. Link in bio.
Look, you would think I would have memorized too, right?
Yes.
But let's talk about the event. Juneteenth. We know that it became a legal holiday. Was it last year? They legalized it as a national holiday. We know that's when the slaves got free, whatever. So when people come to this event, what can they expect? What will they expect? Because I know it is a mission, it's a purpose behind this extraordinary event that hails not every year, around the month of June.
Yeah, so there's definitely going to be a lot of Black-owned businesses in the building. They will be showcasing their arts, their talents. So definitely come out, support them, let them know that you are rooting for them and that Juneteenth is a meaningful and special holiday to us. So, yeah, we can't wait to celebrate.
And that's what's up right there. And I know you have you're doing a lot of content. I know your numbers are going up, your followers going up. Congratulations on that.
Thank
how
you.
has that been? How has the as I know Desiree as well been supporting you and many others? How has that experience been for you? Just people from all walks of life, different backgrounds, just supporting you and what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's actually been an amazing experience. I've been a content creator for a while now. I was really a content creator before, content creator was even a term. I've been on social media most of my life, being a millennial. I've had a social media account since I was 10 years old, so I've been creating content for a very long time. As it has popularized and become monetized, I definitely have worked on increasing my following. So it has been an amazing journey. It's so funny that you brought up like all the different ages and different people that follow me, because as I grow larger, I'm starting to grow an audience in the Philippines. And it is just crazy to me that they love my content. They engage with me almost more than people here. So it's an amazing feeling just to know that I am loved elsewhere, and that my content is reaching different borders in the world. So I love it. I love it.
I
We
mean, I know you mentioned you was at 10 years old, correct? You had a social media account at 10, and how did content creating? We know that's very popular, Desiree, among the generation, of course. Well, it don't matter what
Mm-hmm.
age, whether young or old, it don't matter. I don't want to say age because Desiree gets, she think I be taking shots at her. I don't
No
take shots
shade, no
at
shade.
her. I
look,
know, but
he does. He's just trying to be nice about it. So
okay, but we won't talk about that in the back. Yeah. But what is important to you to be a content creator? We know a lot's going on in our world, in our generation. You know that. We have a lot of negativity going on. We have a lot of people who are looking for hope. We feel people that feel like they're less hopeless, that there's no way
Hmm.
out. So how important is it for you to be a content creator?
So content creation for me has just really been about being authentic, sharing my story, my journey, inspiring and motivating people with the experiences that I have gone through. I definitely try to keep things more on the positive side on my social media. As I have grown and matured, I have changed really my strategy in the way that I post. Known for the political posts that I made. But like I said, as I have grown and matured and my following has grown, I've leaned more towards inspirational, motivational content, as well as more fashion related things like that for my content. But I definitely try to, the overall goal is to inspire.
and I definitely would say, that's one thing about following her page is you're going to get that good morning, have a great day, like and I feel kind of like attacked here because like
No.
recently obviously my page, which is always, let's just say, and you and I've had this conversation about it, I've always kept my page private. I'm just a
Hmm.
very private person on a lot of things. And then in the last 2 weeks, I went ahead and said, okay, like I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna open it because networking is so important to me. And
Absolutely.
so I decided to open it. Obviously, you and I've had some side conversations about what happened after I had opened it.
Hmm.
And but I decided, like, okay, I'm so serious all day long for work. I'm serious like nonstop on a professional side of things, right? So I have posted a few like little riskier, maybe not always so positive kind of stuff. Michelle's laughing at me. Okay, I love you too, Michelle. Michelle is probably the catalyst of some of those posts there. Okay, but I do love that you've always like I know if I want to get that good morning, it's going to be a great day. I can go to your page. I can find it. I love it. But again, we've talked about that downfall, and I went from when it was private at just 1.7 k followers, and then like I think this morning it was a little over 4.6k. And
Yes.
so coming with that, it's so much to keep up with. And so
It's a
how would
lot.
you say, doing it for so long, what would be your tips and strategies that you could give to anybody listening on how to kind of weed through what needs to be kept up with and what you just kind of have to be like, I appreciate the support, but I can't reply to everything.
Right. I feel like after time, the bad apples will weed themselves out. When after a while, if you're not responding to them, and then also I believe that the certain type of content you post brings in a certain type of audience. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about certain things and certain people are going to come, that's what they're interested in. So that's why I steer away from certain things, because I have noticed the type of attention that it brings. And if I don't want that type of attention, then I'm not going to talk about those things, even if it's something that I do actually care about, if it's something that I do actually feel, for the sake of my mental health and my social media mental health, I just steer away from it online. I can say what I want to say in person. We can have a conversation all day. But as far as my online presence, I try to keep that, as PG-13 as possible to avoid those particular situations. But don't get me wrong, they still come. The crazies are out there. And especially when you're modeling and you're taking certain pictures, you're doing certain poses, some people take that as an invitation to what's the best word to say? I don't know.
They
Speak to
use it
you
to come on. They use it to come on to you. They think
yes,
that
in a
it's like,
certain manner.
yes,
That
yes.
it isn't, respectful. Just because I'm showing certain pieces of my body, that does not mean that you can disrespect me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that definitely does come in to play every now and then, but I shut it down immediately. And then as far as like just responding to everyone, I have so many filters on my page with
Do
certain words
you?
that you cannot say on my post. If you say them, Facebook's going to automatically hide your comment. So you can see it, you'll think it's there, but no one else, none of my other followers or anyone will be able to see it. So I've definitely taken time to build up that list and make sure that I am constantly, going through my comments and filtering out anything that I deem inappropriate.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna do that. I don't think I've added any filter stuff on mine, but I will say this too. I definitely agree with you. Like and sometimes I'll post things on there that's definitely to get like I'll ask questions, right? Like I want
Right.
people's opinion stuff. But I noticed that even like if I post something even about veterans, I will get like 50 private messages to where it's back and forth especially like when I'm saying something about even supporting our homeless veterans. It's like I'll
Mm-hmm.
get all these negative things that'll come in. I'll get it's and so I feel like that sometimes you're right. It's just a matter of you're going to get it regardless of what you post, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely try to. I mean, obviously, there's times where I want to post a lot of stuff, but I know that it would just
Yeah.
open up doors that I don't. But it's funny. But it's
Yeah.
funny, and I do want to do it. And instead, that's where Michelle comes into play. I send a lot of those to Michelle. She has to be like, "Good thing you didn't post that one." And
Yeah.
so, but it's so I can post something that is nothing but positive, and in something that's inspirational, and I will still see that there will be something negative that comes back. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and I'm learning, obviously that's just part of dealing with social media. And so, but I'm definitely supporting that you will get to that 7K. I know you will. I know that
Thank
anybody that's
you.
watching you is going to be like, yes, like I love the content that she puts out there. And I think
Thank
also
you.
just that being inspired to be a young, entrepreneur. And I think that's exactly what we need more of. And so I love it. That's why I'm like, follow my girl. If you're following me, you better follow my girl.
Yes, yes. And I appreciate that so much. One of the most important things I feel like as content creators is that we do grow and support each other. You know what I'm saying? We're nothing without each other. Because then if you're on social media by yourself, what is social media? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate the love, and for you helping me. You definitely sent some people my way. One of them were crazy. I
I
said she didn't
imagine
sit. She
I'm
didn't
not
sit.
responsible for all that.
One of her crazies my way. I had to block that man.
Look, I am not responsible for that. I don't know half of them that are on mine. So you can't blame me, girl.
Yes, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And I love your content as well. You post the things that I wish I could post. I literally have been debating on making another page with my what's the word? You know how Beyonce has her alter ego.
Alter ego, yeah.
Yes, making an alter ego page so I can post what I want to post. You know what I'm saying?
But
Um,
here's the thing: I can barely keep up. I can barely keep up with the page that I've got going. I don't know how I
mhm.
could do two. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you already know we've had these conversations. Like, I'm like, I'll
Yes.
be on there and I'll try to read something, and before I can click on it, there's like 50 other things that come through, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I want to see what my friends are doing. I want to see what other people have got going on. I want to share this event, and so
Yes.
it's a struggle. So I don't know how I would be able to do too. And I do realize that in the last couple weeks that I have been a little bit more just kind of free spirited with mine. I still
Mm-hmm.
think that I try to make sure I'm not posting like anything that's just too disrespectful, too vulgar. Um, I don't want to do like anything. Look at Michelle, I believe it too.
She
I
said she got four. You got to
I
nowadays. It's
believe it with
like,
Michelle, okay? But I think at the same time as I kind of looked at my pages, this is who I am. I can be a
hmm
professional when I need to be professional, but at the same time I do have that sense of humor. I do find some things that are still kind of funny. Some of
right.
it's also just for that, like I want to hear people's opinions. Like I'm really
Yeah.
curious. Like earlier I posted like tell me about your worst date, and so I want to know what is your worst date, even if God forbid somebody's going to be like when I went out with you. Like, okay, let me hear it. I need to like put a filter on that one, right? No, no
uh-huh.
negativity towards Desiree back. But
hmm
sometimes that's just kind of what you do, and I want to hear about what other people are going through, because I feel like sometimes I'm so wrapped up in my veteran world
hmm
that I'm missing out on all the other things that are going on. So I feel like that I'm trying to do like this little happy kind of median in between there. And so, all right, Michelle. Michelle just said how many she's got. I,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You can do it.
We know that personal page, Michelle. But and so, but I do love that. At the end of the day, I try to also be mindful. I try to go on there and say, like even if it's not what I'm really like personally, guys, like don't take it personal, or I'm just posting for entertainment purposes. So I
hmm
try to like include that because I do get some people's feelings that are hurt. But
Yeah.
again, you can't make everybody happy. And if I can wake up the next day and say I'm okay with what I posted the night before, it's my page.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I would ask that too. How do you make your approach in making great content? We know that content is very important. Some people take it lightly, but how important is it for you to make great content? Do you rehearse what you're gonna do? How do you go about doing it? Because you want to be a professional. You want to work in the spirit of excellence. Because I look at it, you don't want to waste nobody's time or energy. So
right.
how do you approach making creative content that's gonna catch people's attention?
So I definitely rehearse. I have a strategy for my content, and I think that has definitely helped me grow the way I have grown. Um, I started off similar to where you are, Desiree. When I before I ever went into professional mode, I had about 2K followers, and then when I put my page into professional mode, I was at about 4.4K, and I just tweaked little things that I was doing to see what would get me a better response, basically. And from that, I created a strategy. I use Chat GPT a lot. A lot of people are starting to hop on that AI train, and it has been very helpful for me because it can provide, information that I wouldn't be able to think of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the
Mm-hmm.
idea, but it helps me to tweak it. It helps me to perfect it. So I use that to help me as well. And then I watch, I observe a lot, and I see what other larger creators are doing to help build and grow their accounts, and then I mimic what they do. Um, but it is extremely important to me. Excuse me. You have to
Have you?
try it. You have to try it. It is.
I've heard about it too, but I've definitely never looked into it either. So I'm right there with you, Mr. Dixon. I've not even,
I
but I've
mean,
only been on. I've only made it public 2 weeks now, so I'm like, there's so much I don't know. Let's be honest, okay? I'm old.
yes, but see, a
I'm
lot of
old.
people
Sorry.
they don't use Chat GPT for social media, but I do because I used it before to help me write something, and I understood the power of it, almost immediately, and so I started using it to help me make content, and it really does help. Like the ideas and the wording that it comes up is so much more better than my own. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I love it. It's definitely a tool that I suggest for any content creator to use to help them grow, especially if you're running a business as well. It helps so much with that. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, the content creation is of the utmost importance to me. I definitely put in work and effort, and I have spent money on, making the best content that I can.
Yeah. And you know what? Hey, that's important. Investing, taking your money,
Mm-hmm.
invest. Because you look at the professional people, they invest their money into the top-notch equipment,
Yes.
different programs, different cameras, different things always coming out. But it's always about that quality, that sound, the picture, that HD feel where people it gravitates people's attention. And you have some people who escape that. They want to do the freebies. But how important it is to invest your money into this equipment, to keep it top notch, that you know what, I like that. And it shows that you're very serious about
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing.
Yeah, it's very important. For example, like right now I'm using a ring light, right? Without
Hmm.
this ring light, my room is dark. I'm at home. I don't have like a professional studio or setting or anything that I can sit in front of, but I invested. Also, I just moved. So if you look back on some of my content, you'll see that I always have a pink glitter background with like shimmers. I made that background myself. I purchased all the materials off Amazon. My sister and I, shout out to my big sister, Hanifa, she helped me. We did a whole glitter wall in my room with what are those shimmers called that they used to use back in the 70s on their doorways? Do you know what I'm talking
I know what
about?
you're talking about.
I just forgot the name. But yeah, so I made that myself. I made my own background. I purchased a ring light. I purchased the latest iPhone with the best quality, and then I study. I go to YouTube University and I watch videos after videos to learn how to film myself, how to photograph myself, how to use certain uh apps for editing and things of that nature. So I definitely take it seriously. And I think it is of the utmost importance to invest in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, then who will? You know what I'm saying? If you want people to take you seriously, then you have to do so. And I have like a really concrete example. You can go on my page right now and you can literally see the difference. So there's a picture that I posted of myself yesterday. It was taken in uh very good lighting. I had my hair done, makeup done, outfit on, which was all investment. I had to pay for all of those things, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Then that picture, it's almost at 400 likes, right? Even though I have my likes hidden, but you can click on it, you can scroll and you'll see, it's a lot of likes there. But I posted another picture maybe last week, was the last picture that I posted before then, right? Took it at home, iPhone, front camera, no good lighting. I just took it in my room. 100, maybe 120 likes. You see what I'm saying? Investing in yourself, it matters. It counts. It can take your post from you getting 100 likes to you getting 400 likes. It could take your post from you making $1 to you making $20 off that post. You see what I'm saying? So it definitely helps to invest in yourself, to spend that money, spend that time, get that knowledge to learn how to just up your game. Because like, you will be blown away by some of the content that people are creating nowadays, and you'll be like, you did that at home on your iPhone? Like, come on now, you got to
And,
step your game up.
and
Yeah.
Furman, I want to go ahead and although I've already given her my, private shout out, I just want to go ahead and throw it out there that Hayisha was my first person to even send me stars, and
Yeah.
I was like, girl, okay, first of all, because even when I switched it over, to be in public and stuff, I I was just like, a lot of it was for the networking thing. Being on the podcast, as much as I am always like trying to advertise for, veteran services, for the other podcasts that I do, obviously there's a lot of things that I'm involved in. And I thought, okay, maybe you don't have to have it private, there's nothing to hide, right? Just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think I was even in like the public mode like a week before she sent me my first star. And I was like, girlfriend. I was like, oh my God. And I was just tickled to death because it was definitely not something that I was, expecting. But that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I also just love about you. Like, since our, last interview with you last month, to current. Like, you are so supportive of everybody that is part of this podcast. I
Thank
love
you.
that
I
you
try to
are,
be.
yes, you are so engaging, and I absolutely just think that that's I'm grateful. I'm thankful for it. I love the like kind of little community we've built amongst all of our guests here that have come on to this show. And so, but
Hmm.
let's talk about this investing of your videos, your photos and stuff, because I know this is a
Hmm.
big controversy thing on social media, is the negativity of when we do use ring lights. Like obviously, I mean, I'm sitting on a dark couch, right? So if I didn't have the ring light on, like obviously you guys are not gonna see me sitting here.
Right.
You'll hear me, but you ain't gonna see me. But we get, I think that the negativity that people want to go behind, they're like, oh, but what are you like without the ring light? What are you without a filter? And so if you'll notice, like, because I catch a lot of hell about it, and of course, like, I'm not going to advertise pictures where I'm just totally looking like shit. Like, that's not what I do.
Literally,
There's
it
some
makes no
on there.
sense. That's
There's some
not
on
your
there.
lane.
Let's not even act like there's not somewhere I am like looking as rough as could be. But you don't, in advertising, you don't advertise the worst look, right? You're advertising what looks best. And
Right.
so for people to be so negative about it and say you're not yourself, like that's not who you are, you're not genuine, um, it's an investment, right? So,
Hmm.
but for me, it's like, so then I guess you might have saw the post right before we came on the show today where
I
I posted
did.
about, like, I wish that I could have a camera being held at this 85-degree angle and a ring
Right.
light in everyday life, but it's not reality. But come on the show because, on here, it is just a ring light. There's no filters going on.
No
And I'm not
filter.
saying, huh?
I say no filter.
Yeah, there's no filter. Like in investment, guys. Like when you want to say anything about us that wear like our lashes, that's an investment, right? If it
Hmm.
makes us feel good, if it makes us, one, I think it's an investment personally. Like I feel like I can conquer the damn world when I have on lashes and lip gloss. Like give me lashes
Yeah.
and lip gloss, girl, and I'm ready to kick some ass for the day. But so many
Right.
guys are like, that's so fake. Like that's, why can't you just be natural? If it makes us feel good, like just support it, right?
Right.
I
I'm
mean,
with you, Desiree. Oh, go ahead, Furman.
oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, because you said investment. The lighting is very important. You gotta have light. If you're
Have
doing
to.
movies, you're doing television, they have to have lighting for a reason because darkness don't look good, and it shows you that you don't care about your product. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that lighting going on because I'm using the ring light right now because it brings it out instead of just being in the dark. And people
Right.
would say something about that. It was like, why are you in the dark? And because anything you do, you want to do it, I believe, at 1000%, work in the spirit of excellence, we constantly grow and evolve. So investment is important. Being presentable is important. How you feel, how you look this way is very important to you. So you want to, it's all about you loving you, you investing in you, and you, as they say, being the best version of yourself. And especially when we're out here doing the show, you're doing these public appearances. What they say,
Yeah.
that first impression is everything.
It definitely is. And that's why, I mean, I don't care what they say about filters, ring lights, makeup, fake hair, fake lashes, whatever, because I know I'm pretty in real life. Like,
Right.
regardless of the filters,
Yes.
lashes, hair, nails, whatever, I'm pretty in real life. So I can use a filter if I want to use a filter. You know what I'm saying? I can put on makeup. I can wear fake hair, whatever the case may be, because I feel this is my natural hair. I love my natural hair. I wear it all the time. I'm pretty with my natural hair. I wear no makeup all the time. I wear when I do my shoots, I have to wear makeup. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't have to, but like you said, you want to present your best self. Especially when you're advertising someone else's business, you want to put your absolute best foot forward. Who would advertise, someone at their weakest point if that's not the absolute idea of the shoot? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, doesn't make sense. So I don't care about the naysayers. Those are the same people that's sitting up scrolling my page all day. You
Right, you wouldn't notice the
yeah.
difference between me with my extensions or not my extensions, right? So I
Yeah,
love that
like
you're so. I love to, like, I love you saying, like, it's an investment. Like, I'm gonna like totally support that. I'm stealing that from you because, it is an investment, but
It
so many people are
is.
like, you're just being fake. You're not who you are. Like, and it's not bad at all. But, and I struggle with, so, cause I do have like some halo hair pieces. Like, I mean, today, this is my naturally thin, straight hair. This is like,
And it's
my hair's as
beautiful.
straight.
I can
My
see the
hair's as
shine from
straight as a
here.
board all the time, guys. I can wake up and it's straight. Now, it didn't wake up. It was not straight when I woke up from the Carry the Load event this weekend because I was tore up. But, I do have like some halo hair pieces and some extensions that I'll wear for like different occasions that like
Hmm.
and it might even just add on, just like the length might come to like right here. That's it. That's not even like much of a difference.
Right.
But it's just like, it's fun. I mean, I like it, but people will constantly say something negative, and I always let it bother me. So that's why on the show I've yet to ever wear like my extensions. You can ask Vernon, like or even Daquan, I panicked about when I came on the other day with my hair in braids. Like, I had the double Dutch braids on
They were
going on.
cute.
I like struggled because I was like, people are gonna be like, that is not you. Like, when was the last time you wore double Dutch braids? Like, when I was 10? I don't know. But
Yeah.
I was just like, why can't I be different? Why can't I have just a different look? It was my hair. But you're gonna have those that are gonna hate. You're gonna have those that are gonna support you. I just have to learn to not worry too much about letting other people's opinions be my investment in myself.
Right. I mean, and I feel like you are very confident. I love your content and the content that you post. It seems like you are a very confident person. And I love that you're comfortable in your own skin and that you embrace your imperfections and you allow others to, or invite them to, embrace theirs as well. No one is perfect. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like as long as you are brave and bold enough to put yourself out there to the world, who cares, what the naysayers think? You did what you were supposed to do. You're walking in your purpose, and that's all that matters.
Oh, I love you for that. That is so sweet of you. Thank you
Well, you
so
know
much.
what? Hold on.
Yes.
Because
Oh my
when I
God.
say,
Yes.
if I say something like that, you think I'm being funny. You think you not say, I don't understand that. If I said,
He said, "I don't understand that."
if I say you think I'm being funny and stuff like that, like, you know
Like
what?
I do, Furman will say something like after the show or something. He'll always be like, "Hey, great job," or you look great tonight. And I'm like, "Shut up, Furman." Every time.
Wow.
I'm like, "You're so full of
How
shit,
you
Furman."
You know, I texted you earlier and I said you awesome. You didn't respond back. You must thought I was being funny with you.
I was working and I was trying to I literally was trying to get everything done. I took off a couple of days and then I had to work all weekend. I, supported the Carry the Load event.
Right.
And so and then, of course, everybody knows, like, the city of Dallas, our system has been hacked and it's been down for like a month now.
Yes.
Yes. And so, but it did just come out on the news, and I only know it came out on the news. I don't watch the news. I don't do all that negative stuff.
Neither.
But, I don't. Like, I'm like, if I want to be depressed, like, I can turn on the news. I don't want to be depressed. So instead, I post very controversial shit on social media.
Facebook is my news.
It did come out on the news earlier saying that we were up and ready to run again. So that means that come tomorrow, I am like feeling so ecstatic because I do not like being behind. And I've got a stack of veterans that are wanting to come into the court, and I've not been able to verify if they could or not. And so I was so, like, my veterans were texting. They're like, "Miss Bailey, we just saw in the news. Looks like we're going to get to come back to court." And I'm like, I didn't get that email, but hey, I'm glad you reported the news to me. So,
that's funny.
But, so Furman, I did not ignore you, did not think you were being foolish. I literally was trying to hurry. I had to come home, and I still had to, like, brush the hair back straight again. And
You look good, by the way. I just want to let you know you look very good. You look very stunning.
Thank you, Furman.
Yes.
Very attractive. I just want to let you know.
I love the middle part.
You know what? That's a new thing. That is a new thing. Okay. I'm glad that, and that I will tell you, like, never have I parted my hair in the middle. And then maybe Furman, probably about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I decided to part it in the middle. And I went back and forth. I was like, my son's 22, and his girlfriend and him were here. And I was like, son, like, don't make me go on the air looking like an idiot. He was like, Mom, it looks great. It was actually when we had the sexologist on the show that I did it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Pocahontas. Hey, Pocahontas.
I was like, if I go on the show looking crazy for
Hey,
this little
Pocahontas.
part, because I've always worn it in a
Got
side
your
part.
look going on. Look, Sherry was like that back in the day. Sherry got your Sherry look going on.
Yes, that tells our age because as you can see, I'm a flip over girly. I always wear my part to the side. But then I saw on TikTok they were making fun of us. They were like, a girl is like in her 30s if she wears her hair to the side. If she parts her hair on the side, they said the youngins do the middle parts now. I'm like, okay, so middle part from here on out.
I literally just like y'all, and I'm looking for that pod everywhere. Can we just talk about this pod thing? Vaping is not good for you guys, but vaping is good for my nerves. Yesterday, let me tell you what happened, Furman. I didn't tell this. Yesterday,
I gotta go soon, y'all.
Yesterday, I went to wash my my comforter, and I have this big white down comforter, and so I was like stripping it off my bed real quick, and I was trying to get it thrown in there before I was doing something. Again, I had blisters on my feet from this event that I decided to walk 5 miles in flip-flops like an idiot. And so I was like trying to hurry and get this thing in the wash machine, and then I came back in my room and I was like, I want to hit my vape. My vape was gone, and I was yelling for my son, and I was like, Matthew, like, help your mom, like, what is it? So his girlfriend was digging in the washer machine. It was wrapped up in that comforter. I threw it in the washer machine. Y'all know that last night, if I posted anything offensive, it is because I did not have a vape. And so I'm asking for forgiveness now. And so I literally called like I called my friend who actually owns a vape store here, and I was like, Sam, I need like this vape, and I only like this certain particular one. And he was like, I'm not at the store yet. And I said, Sam, like, I have to have this vape. Do you have it in stock? And so sure enough, he had 2 left. I ran there first thing this morning, grabbed me a new vape. I'm back to normal, but after, like sitting here, and so I'm like, where the hell did I put my vape? So y'all just bear with me for a minute while I'm looking around for this thing.
Well, take that time. I know, Hayisha got to go and stuff.
Yes.
And Gary, I know you got some work you have to do. Do you have any final remarks you want to leave with the audience that's listening to you right now?
I just want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys, Furman, Desiree, for inviting me back on the show. It's always a good time, like always. At first, I was feeling so tired, and like now I'm energized just from talking to y'all. So yes, y'all bring so much light. Thank you guys so much for inviting me on. You guys don't forget, I'm filming my first movie, I Got You Forever, written and directed by Kiana. You guys check it out, please. It's going to be on Tubi and Amazon, and I will be uploading plenty of content on set with all the actors and actresses. You guys tune in. You can follow me at Hayisha, Hayisha Nicole, on all social media platforms.
Yes, I'm so excited for you. We're looking forward to it.
Yes, thank y'all.
We appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit. We're about to continue the show for a little while. Desiree, we know we got a very touchy topic coming up tomorrow. We'll talk about domestic violence. Our guest was a victim of domestic violence. She's here in DFW, and she's gonna share her story. We know that's very touching for a lot of people, whether you went through domestic violence, you experienced it, or you witnessed it, especially for children. Children who grew up, their parents was physically fighting. You see your dad jump on your mom. That's tough for a child. I know. I've been there before, so I know how it is. But we're gonna be talking about that tomorrow night, so looking forward to that topic. Hayisha, thank you once again. You got to get to work, girl. So you need to go and be about your business and stuff like that. So don't let us hold you up.
Yes, and you guys, if you're watching, go on to her social media, follow her,
give
her all the support and love. She deserves it so much. If you're wanting somebody who can just lift your spirits, this is the girl. But we also want to show her all the love and support for her film that she is doing, and as well as the Juneteenth event that she's got coming up next month.
Yes. Thank you so much again, guys. It's always a pleasure. I'll see y'all soon.
Yes, bye, hon.
Bye, y'all.
Appreciate it. What's up, everybody? We are still here on Walking This Way's Impact Voice podcast. We're not gonna be on here long. We got some stuff. I got some stuff I gotta do too at the house. But Desiree, this has been a great time. We've been having him on the New Faces of Dallas series. I appreciate you being on with me here on the podcast. Been a lot of great responses. The reels has been going up. I think one reel I showed you is at like 5,000.
Yes.
So we know the reels are doing good. I got a good big shout out Desiree to Jenna. She was a guest on the show before you came in like early this year. Matter of fact, I went to one of her classes and she was telling people always do the reels. When you do the reels, it comes to recycle. So people that does not follow you in your social media can actually see it. Because I
Yes.
noticed the more reels that we post, a lot of people that don't follow you, that may not follow me, are responding. That's how they start following you too. Because I noticed that the other day. So if you out there listening to it, man, y'all start posting y'all reels. Them reels do help you out. Whether you on TikTok is good. What else? I guess who else? Instagram do reels too.
Yep.
That's another thing.
And I think I've noticed a lot of mine. So, like, I was talking to Daquan about, like, the increase, which I know a lot of it is because I went public, right?
Right.
But Daquan is like, maybe ask, and I was like, I'm scared to ask why these people are following me. I'm like, I'm not that funny. Like, I'm not really that funny of a person. Why are these people want to follow me? And he's like, just ask. And so, I started kind of just messaging a few people, and they were like, well, I saw some of your stuff on TikTok, and then they were like, and of course, a lot of them were even just from our guests that have been on the show. They're like, I saw where you had this person on there. And so, but I was worried about asking, like, why, and then, of course, working in veteran services is always like a big plus, as far as like some of the people that I get. I mean, today I just saw, like, before I came on that Carry the Load, I had made a post, and I had commented about how Carry the Load and Sheepdog Impact Assistance did an amazing job for the event. And then I saw where Carry the Load had shared my post, and they've got 51K followers. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, how nice of them to do that. And so then I started having people inboxing saying, hey, do you care if we follow? And I was like, people ask if they can follow you, like, okay. And then but then just some veterans had actually reached out about needing services and stuff, and they saw it just from like that Carry the Load. But I was thinking, like, 51K is a lot of people that are seeing what I had posted and stuff. So it's always nice to see that support. Again, I mean, I'm constantly asking Michelle and Daquan, like, why? Like, I'm not, I seem to offend people more than anything, and that's never my intentions, but I love the support that I'm getting. And even though some, like, Hayisha said, it could be a little bit of the creepers and the and stuff, you kind of get that. So, but hey, Furman, I was gonna ask you though, do you want to take, never mind, I found my pod. I was gonna say, do we need to take a commercial break before starting?
We'll take a quick commercial break right quick, and then we'll jump right back in. So we're gonna jump right back in after this commercial break, ladies and gentlemen.
With today's technological advances and fast-paced life, BMS is your trusted next-generation IT solutions provider that keeps you ahead of the competition. From humble beginnings, BMS Company is now one of the fastest-growing software engineering service providers, with international presence and golden reputation for excellence. The BMS Company is your one-stop global destination for web development, mobile application development, digital marketing, SEO, Facebook and Google advertising, social media management, business consulting, printing services, and many more. BMS is trusted to provide timely, cost-effective solutions. At BMS, we believe in providing guaranteed results, irrespective of a project's complexity. No stories, no excuses. And core to all of our operation is that we practice what we preach, and we deliver what we promise. We're proud of our dream team of solution-driven enthusiasts, comprising of industry experts in various fields, including blockchain, IoT, and AI. Our unique makeup and cooperate synergy enables BMS to add heart to technology while delivering our trademark exceptional results for our esteemed customers. Get free 3 months of hosting and 30 days SEO when you partner with us today. Call us now on 469-992-4567 or visit our website at thebmscompany.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on Walking This Way's Impact Plus podcast. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr. We're broadcasting live from the DFW. That's Dallas Fort Worth, Texas. For those who don't know, I'm back in the studio with my co-host, the lovely, spicy one, Lady D Desiree. What's going on with you this evening?
Nothing. You know what? I love being here. I'm like Hayisha said. You might be so tired, and then it's like when we come on the show, we always have such energy amongst all of us,
Right.
and it just kind of like gives you that extra like, okay, like I forget what kind of day I had. It's been it's always great to be on here. That's what I can say about it. So I
And
don't
I
know. Like
appreciate
I don't know. Maybe it's the moonshine talking. I don't y'all if y'all don't ever drink moonshine, drink the watermelon moonshine. It's pretty good.
you. But you know what? It just the excitement, doing stuff that you love to do, what you're passionate about. That's why I was asking her earlier about content. The rehearsal. Rehearsing your stuff, doing your material. Because as we go to another level, I know we want to work in the spirit of excellence. We want to work in the spirit of professionalism because we are in the social media business. You know what I'm saying? Whether we realize it or not. So it's important for us to put out great content. It's important for us to make sure we have great guests and the flow is unique and how you really flow with everything and how you flow stuff on top of your head. That's unique, and I appreciate you that just fit right on in with us here on the podcast, and I give your roses to you. I have to tell you that, even though we on the air, but I'm telling you that right now. So
And here's the thing is like I don't think that I can do like a scripted thing. Yeah, I read over every guest that we have, especially like when you're sending me over, like what they're involved in. I want to know.
mhm.
Like I want to know. But for me it is more of an impromptu kind of thing. Like I kind of go off the cuff. I but I guess that's also one of those things about my social media page is like I just if I think of it or or I see it, it's like yes, like I'm gonna post that. Sometimes I don't have like those filter things in me, but I think that's like one of the great things. Like on the back end, you're knowing who the guest is. You have seen what their work is in the community and stuff. And yes, Dewan. And so but for me it's kind of like I'm more organic. Like I want to just
Right.
kind of like flow with the conversation. Does that make sense? I know
It
like we're
is.
on here, we're interviewing them, we're trying to see what they're doing, but I kind of like will be like, let me get to the nitty gritty of stuff. But and I like huge shout out, thank you to Quan for that. We've had such a great month of all the new faces of Dallas. Tomorrow night we're gonna have another amazing individual that is brave enough to come on this show and talk about her story. And Daquan has been amazing at sharing. We have such support from Michelle of, sharing our stuff. Even Rebecca, out of Tennessee, who is doing amazing work. If you've not voted yet, please go to Rebecca's page and definitely vote for Rebecca. She'll be competing in Hawaii soon, and we definitely want to show her our love. She is my amazing soul sister. And so, I love the people that we bring on. I love that, outside of this podcast, they're all doing amazing things, in the community. And I think that's so important. And I think it's so great that this whole month we have decided to focus on the people that are here with us locally, even though we know that we have people from all over watching us. It is about our community here in the Dallas Fort Worth area where all of us are, locally, residing or working. But tomorrow's guest, like, let's talk about that. This is such a brave, young woman who's coming on here to tell her story about, being, having domestic violence in her life, and to have somebody to come on that is brave enough to share it. I commend them, even though I obviously talk openly about, my childhood trauma, and even my journey growing up, the things that I've endured. It takes a lot for an individual want to go on the air and speak about that. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about our guest that we'll be having tomorrow night, Furman?
Oh, how it all came about, I reached out to her on social media. She was talking about it, and I read the story. And I reached out to her and asked if she want to come share the story on the podcast. She gladly accepted to Miss Turner. She's here, like I said, at the DFW. Matter of fact, I think I sent you her information. I did. I think
Mm-hmm.
I sent you the information where you could go about it. She has the whole entire story from her abuser at the time that she was with. I know she talks about that, and it is very. And she just wants to share her story for people who are going through that. We know that domestic violence is serious. We know that some people don't have a way of escape. I know we do have programs in place to help people to escape, and I know that some people, what does it say, Desiree, scared to share this information because they don't want the ones who the 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 abuser find out where they at. 'Cause we know we have friends, family members who talk too much, and before you know it, they'll find the individual they've been doing it with. Which I don't condone domestic violence. And to me personally, if you're a man, you put your hand on your woman, you are a punk. I did not do say that because I don't condone that. I don't condone that. I don't care
And
how
I
close
think that
you
goes both ways for men. I really don't think that any woman should put her hands on a man. I think that, like, if you're at a point where you have to be physical with each other, like,
don't need to be together.
you need to take a step away from that, because it does go both ways. Like, it is extremely traumatic for a woman to be abused, but it's also there's so many undocumented reports of men that are actually being abused as well.
Yeah.
And there's women that are definitely out there that are not only just verbally, mentally, physically abusive to their partners as well. And the hardest thing for me to be even talking about it is that these men don't feel like they can open up and talk about it or get help, because then it makes them feel like they're less of a man.
Yeah.
But really, it's no different than how our sexual abuse is being reported. You have more females that are reporting it than men. Men are ashamed to report that that's happened to them.
Right.
And I just encourage anybody that, whether you've been sexually abused, whether you are physically being abused, reach out, get help. There's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. And that was the biggest thing, I think, with me finally being able to voice like what has happened to me. I spent those years feeling like kind of like I was at fault, especially because it happened for so long. And I thought that people were going to judge me and say, why did you allow it? Why did you allow it? Why didn't why didn't you do this? Little do they know that it was reported. It was reported, and we didn't have the support to believe in us. And could it have changed my life had somebody actually, like, believed in what was going on inside that home? Yeah, it very well could have. I mean, I can't say. I think that a lot of things, you can say things would be better, you can say things would be worse. You don't really know until it comes about, right? And a lot of that is what you're willing to change in your life. I could sit back and say, because of the physical abuse, because of the sexual abuse, even later on in relationships of domestic violence, like, that I could just be like, I have an excuse for everything, right? Like, oh, because of this is the reason why I behave in a certain way. You can choose to feel sorry for yourself, or you can choose to make a difference. Now, whether that difference is that you choose to put it all behind you, don't speak of it again, move forward with your life and be productive, that's your way of healing. Nobody can judge you. I, on the other hand, decided God blessed me with this voice to be able to speak about what had happened. And if there's only one person who can hear how my story and my journey went and see that there's still hope on the other side, then it's worth me being vocal about it. And I don't have anything to be ashamed of. I've mentioned on here before, I went years of thinking that I was, damaged goods. Like, who would want somebody who had endured such horrific things? And at the end of the day, like, that shit has made me stronger. Like, that's really why I'm a little spicy, right? Is because now I'm like, I can how I can sit there and say I'm not going to allow any other abuse in my life to take place, because I didn't get to use my voice then. Nobody wanted to believe it. As an adult now, I don't care if you believe me or not. If I'm going through something, I know that I have the right to speak up for myself, defend myself, and to leave a situation that's unhealthy and toxic for me.
Right. And I'm gonna ask you this, Desiree. When it comes to dating and relationships, how did the guys respond to you about that? I mean that traumatized anybody. But how did the guys that you dated? How did they handle that when you open up to them about that? Because some people may not understand, but you got some who understand, but they have to be very cautious on how they do things, how they say things. How did that work out?
So it's kind of a different thing. It's a different mixed thing. Okay. So, and it's a matter of really, I think, on understanding the maturity of the guy.
Right.
So, you're going to have some that, are angry about that happening to you and apologetic and just like enraged that anybody could ever do that to a female. Right. So they're going to be a little bit more, protective of you. Then you're gonna have some that are kind of like, she's got too much damn baggage, like that. I'm not even trying to get in the middle of that. And then then you have your assholes that and I say this, and I'm saying this very loud and proud. That you open up and you share something like that with, and then if it doesn't work out with that individual, they want to then throw it in your face and be like, well, I'm sorry you didn't get enough love as a child, or I'm sorry that you have daddy issues because of this. And, you're an ass. Like, you're an ass, but it happens all the time. And, if we don't feel ashamed enough, and then to be vulnerable enough to open up to you about something so personable that because your ego got hurt, that we no longer want to be communicating or dating you, that you would choose to throw that back in our face. I'm sorry that I'm so vocal about what I think of you, but you're a piece of shit. I've had, some relationships where even my partner was sexually abused. And so we were able to relate to one another. We understood, how that affects us. But it's a very delicate situation. And I think it's a situation that, it definitely, like I said, it takes a mature individual on both ends, even if it's not the female that's ever been abused and it was just the male. You have to be empathetic, like, to what's going on. And the biggest thing is just listen to your partner. You can't ever say, well, I know because I had this happen too. At the end of the day, we weren't abused by the same person. The same person may or may not have been having the same kind of relationship, whether it was a relative, a friend of a family member, whatnot. You don't know how it's affected that individual. So don't try to compare your story with another person's story, because I promise you, no story is going to be the same.
Yeah, I agree with you 1000% on that. And God know when it came to sexual encounter with sexual activity, I want to say, did you explain to them what position that you don't want to be in a sexual way?
Yes. So, early on, especially with my, and, I'm not disclosing names, but I'm sure if anybody that knows. So, like, with my first husband, and so I moved out when I was 16. We met each other when I was 17. I had been living with a female friend of mine. And then the morning after graduation, he and I moved in together. And I was very open with him. I was open with him also because I was still kind of in that scared stage of being a minor, and then whether or not if I would be able to be on my own and stuff. So we moved in together the morning after graduation, and he couldn't wake me up in the middle of the night doing anything sexual to me whatsoever. Like, you just could not. And it was because obviously there was that PTSD side of things of, this individual that had molested me coming into the room in the middle of the night and doing certain things to me. So, but one thing I will say is, and that individual ended up being my first husband. And he completely understood, there would be times to where, he may not have remembered. And so he might start, kissing or fondling on me in the middle of the night. And I would come up dukes swinging. Like, I was like full on, like, defending myself, violent. And to know that he loved me through that, to know that he knew that it wasn't that I was just trying to be a violent person, but that I was just having that fight or flight mode to being woke up. Like, I really do appreciate and applaud him for being so understanding and sticking with me through that transition until I understood that I was safe at home with him. I was okay to be woke up by him at night. It takes years of healing.
Yeah.
And it's still, like, even though I can sit here and say, like, oh, that won't trigger me, like, I'm good, I'm over it, that's not always true. Like, I don't ever know when the anxiety side gets the better part of me. So it is still a constant thing throughout my relationships. And that's why I said earlier, that some people may be like, that's too much baggage. I can't deal with that. Does it put up a lot of like trust issues in a relationship? Yes, it does. And it's hard. You have to always understand that the person that you're choosing to be with is not the person that hurts you.
Right. And it's
But
kind of something important. Go ahead.
That's growth. That's a growth thing.
Yeah, it is.
But when you are hurt by the first person that should have been the one that protected you, when that's your first male person that has done wrong by you, it does always make there be that trust issue with whether or not what a man's true intentions are. Like, it's just, it's facts, guys. So if you're listening, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry on behalf of all women that have been in this situation. We know that it's not your fault. And unfortunately, just work with us. Be patient, be understanding, and, actions speak louder than words. So be mindful of what you say to us. Sometimes we might just need you to hold us a little bit closer and remind us that we're safe with you.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I know that kind of stuff is important to talk about before you're in a relationship. We talk about this all the time. Well, I want to know, have you been physically or sexually abused? Because this stuff is important on both ends. You know what I'm saying? Because this stuff is important. You want to know how to enter things, and this stuff is very important to talk about.
Like AD said, blame the man, not the men, and vice versa.
It's an individual thing. It's individuals.
It is, and I think yeah, like, and I think I actually had mentioned that Daquan, that I had saw that on the thing. You can't blame the men in the world. You have to blame the man in the world of what happened. And it's the same thing. Like, if a man cheats on you, that doesn't mean that every man out there is going to be a cheater. If one man puts his hands on you, but it does, like, let's face it, it does put up walls. It also makes you be a lot more cautious of what you can trust in the world. And it's no different, guys. Like, if a woman cheats on you or breaks your heart, like, you automatically think like, oh, every woman's going to be a cheater. It's just, it's the way that the world works. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why communication is so important. I also think, like, when you're going into a new relationship, asking, like, don't be afraid to ask, like, why didn't it work out with your partner before? Like, what happened? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Hell, I'm thinking, like, these days we should just be interviewing both sides of the partners, right? I want her version and I want your version, and then I'll pick out what's the truth, right?
Right.
But I don't judge. Like, I'm not a person who judges. I've been through enough shit of my own that I don't have time to judge somebody else. I'll see the man before me, and I'll make my decision on how you are with me, how you treat me. I don't care. Even, like, I'll be honest, like, even if you've been a cheater in your past, that doesn't, like, you could have grown since then.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't mean that you're always going to be a cheater, right? It could have just been a really shitty circumstance. It could have been a real shitty relationship. It doesn't make you a dog. It doesn't mean that you're never going to be a faithful person. How you treat me, that's what I'm going to base that relationship on.
Yeah, you grow from it. That's what you have to do. You learn, you grow from it, and that's what it's all about. But I'm glad to have this healthy dialogue, because this stuff is important to talk about, to address, and have concerns. I remember years ago when I was doing this show. This was back in 2010. I did a show called Beauty and the Beast. I wish you was there. This show, Desiree, when I was still living back home in Mobile, Alabama, this show was setting a lot of people free. I had an ex-porn star. It was ex-homosexual. It was people calling in, Desiree, from different. This guy was calling in from a convention, a gay convention in Atlanta. He was saying, I know I shouldn't be here, and I'm struggling with this thing. And nobody wasn't judging this brother. Everybody he was sharing his story that he didn't want to be there no more. And that's kind of stuff I love to hear on the show. I remember a guy hit me up. He said, man, I'm glad you brought this up, because I was dealing with this thing in my life. He was dealing with down low. And he was saying, I'm glad this came up, because it's something I was dealing with. And I'm glad that you had brought this out to help set people free. And that's what it was all about here on the show, that people, there are real people out there hurting. That's what I want to say. And when these people walk from different walks of life, let's be sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Damn that I don't care all this body count and sheep for the street and all this that goofy terminology they use on social media. It's people that really been through some things, ladies and gentlemen. We as individuals stop looking down on individuals, stop looking down on people, and help them bring them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially give a young lady, guys, and she been through something. Think about it. Desiree. Some young girls have been molested at the age as little girls.
Oh yeah.
And they deal with that kind of stuff. And some of them, I think, Desiree can't even have children. Like they inside's been warned they can't even have children.
So, you know, that was one of like the issues. So with my first husband and I, we had, you know, 3 miscarriages before having our first son. And, you know, the doctors kept saying that like my uterus was all out of place. Like, you know, there was a lot of health issues. And, you know, when I opened up and I explained about what had happened to me as a child, you know, then they started, you know, like trying to like connect the dots and stuff. And that was very stressful for me because again, then it was like being re-victimized all over again. Because I had to sit there and explain what had happened. I had to sit there and think like, because of this happening, is that why I can't, you know, carry a child? And like, so then I thought like for the longest time, like, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to be able to have a baby. I'm never going to be able to be a mother. What will that be like for me? But that's also why my firstborn is named Matthew, which means gift of God. And he was certainly that. And then, of course, you know, 7 months after having Matthew, I was pregnant again with Aaron. Okay. And I mean, like, God just knew. And really, you know, at that time, I was thinking, like, how did I get pregnant? I wasn't thinking of, like, those hormones still being all, those hormones still being all increased and stuff. But, you know, thank God I did because, you know, of course, shortly after having Aaron, I did have, you know, cervical cancer, and I had to have, you know, my partial hysterectomy, and I can't have children anymore. And so God has a plan for us all. And, you know, he knows what it is ahead of time. You just got to trust him. But I did go through a lot of those anger years of, you know, being, not obedient to his word, because I felt like, if I'm your child, how could you let one of your children suffer the way that I did? In return, it all worked out, right? Like, right. I mean, yeah, would I've loved to have more children? Yeah, I would have loved to have more children, like biological children. But at the end of the day, I have 2 healthy, amazing, handsome sons. I have a granddaughter that is absolutely so gorgeous. And, you know, I'm going to be okay. Like at least I was able to have children. So I'm going to go with that.
Oh yeah, and like I said, you're awesome. And I know you got a fan club. I see all the guys be hitting you up and commenting in your pictures and stuff.
Okay.
I see you got a fan club going on. I be checking you out.
I don't think there's a fan club going on here. Okay.
I mean, they say you gorgeous and stuff like that. I think somebody said some comment on your stuff. It was, well, he was bold with it, but you got the guys going crazy over you, lady. They have to say that very much.
Like, and here's like the hardest thing is like, you know, it's difficult. Like, and you get most of your hating from like female people, right?
Oh yeah, that's always gonna happen. Yeah.
So you have the ones that are like, oh, you just post for attention, or, you know, and really, I'm gonna like, I'll be so honest with you, like. You know, there's some people that say something that is definitely flattering, and I'm appreciative of it. Furman, you know me, like I don't take compliments very well at all. At all.
I know.
So, is it nice? I mean, nobody's going to sit there and say that it's not nice if somebody like says you're attractive, right? Like everybody likes to hear that, man or woman. Is that why I post? No. No, I'm just trying to be me. And, whether you take my content and you decide to use it as a moment to be flirty, that's your prerogative. If you choose to take the content, I mean, I've had some that have gone on there and just said, I'm sure you saw the one where he called me a man hater. I don't get offended by much.
Mm-hmm.
I was offended, and I'll tell you why. Is that I work with more men than I do, as far as my veterans are more males than females.
Yeah, females, yeah.
And so I'm I am defending men and supporting men all day long. I'm not a man hater. And I truly, how many times on this show, since I've been doing this these last few months with you, is it you'll say something that's kind of more in favor of the women, and I'm hey, listen, men get treated that way too. Men this, men that. I feel like I defend men. And so I'm for somebody to say that I'm a man hater, I did get offended in the sense of, I mean, you're all entitled to your opinion. And I welcome it. Please don't ever call me on my shit. If you disagree with what I say, comment it. It's okay to comment it. But if people really knew me, I'm I'm not a man hater at all.
Right.
And I don't get, I don't feel that because you're sitting there and you're messaging me privately saying, the things that you would love to do with me, that doesn't make me be ooh, let me get on that social media and start chatting this up because I need the attention. I'm not an attention seeking person by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even in these last 2 weeks of having my page public, I have stopped and said, let me take a break because it is overstimulating for me. I don't know how to respond to it. And a lot of times I don't know how to respond because I don't know if they're being genuine or if they're just being horny.
The majority of the time, have them just being horny. They just try to play it off, but a lot of have the time. But I just only imagine on the stuff that will be said to you in your inbox. It's crazy.
I'm going to be honest with you, Furman. I don't check them. I'll see them come up, and I don't check them. And one is because I don't want to encourage the ones that are not being genuine. So once you check it, they can see that you checked it, right? So I'm no, I'm not going to check it. And then I did accidentally clicked on one the other day, and I don't want to really say accidentally. I saw it and it said that I was a something along the lines of being I was a hurtful bitch or something like that.
Oh, really?
I made a post about it and I shouldn't have, that wasn't mature of me. I should just let that kind of stuff roll off my back. But,
wow.
I definitely, I don't feel like I try to come across as a bitch. I think I am bold enough to say what I want to say, and that can be intimidating to some people. But that's who I am. I'm no different on my page than I am in person. I'm witty. I am very cocky at times about things. I will talk so much shit to you, and I'll be sweet to you at the same time. It's just who I am. But I never try to be hateful. I never try to be bitchy. And I'm finding myself I will apologize a lot on my feed because I don't want people to think that I hate men. I don't want people to think that I'm just some stuck-up bitch. I don't check those messages because the truth is, it would take something very unique and different for me to think I need to click on it. I mean, I get hateful. I mean, I get some women that pick up on me in my inbox. I'll see females that are talking some stuff to me, and
I can only imagine.
I'm just okay, and so, but at the end of the day, I hope that, if people would watch me on here and then also see me on my feed, I am the same individual. And years before I became, when I was in Montana, I was very risky about things that I posted too, especially during COVID, right? During COVID, I was all bets are off. I'm not bumping into any of you. So I'm just I posted anything and everything. I didn't care. I was just I'm bored. I'm going freaking crazy. And then I decided to dial it back whenever I was, back in Texas, and I was now a grandma. And, I was kind of Hayisha, okay, how do you want to represent yourself? How do you want people to see you? So now I'm kind of like in this in between kind of thing. Like I'll still post things that might be a little risky, but I don't go all out. Like if I went all out, I would probably be in Facebook jail. And so, but you know, if anybody's listening, I'm not trying to offend you guys by any means, and definitely call me out on my page. Don't inbox me and call me out. I usually don't check that. If you think that I'm saying something that's offensive or inappropriate, you are welcome to post it on my page and we'll address it there. And I'm just ballsy like that. Like I'd rather you post it on my page and call me on my shit, like where everybody can see it. So
Man, that's what's up. I know about to ready to get off here, Desiree. I know we got ready for, we already prepared for tomorrow's show and everything else. We had a great conversation and stuff like that. Big shout out to Hayisha hanging out with us for a little bit. Before we get off the air, Desiree, do you have any final remarks for our listening audience here on Walking This Way's Impact Podcast?
Yeah, guys, if you're listening in, tomorrow night is definitely a show you don't want to miss. Not only is it the last night of our new faces for the month of May, but it is a very important, near and dear subject to myself and to many other, survivors of any kind of domestic violence. So we would love for you to tune in. If you do tune in and you want to comment on it, please be mindful, be respectful. But if you have questions, ask those questions. And as well as, if you don't feel comfortable asking those questions on the air, feel free to inbox myself or Furman, privately, and we can definitely talk about that. If you're needing any kind of help, if you just need somebody to talk to, like that's what this podcast is about. We want to be able to help the community in a positive way. And so I would just say, tune in. Don't want to miss out on the last night for the Faces of May.
That's it. That's what's up right there. So, man, y'all tune in. Of course, Desiree, we got to give a big shout out to our followers on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeart, by the way, on all social media platforms. You can catch this episode and many of our past episodes on those social media platforms. So go back, download them, check them out. Our job is to bring great, positive content here on the podcast where you can listen to, ride to, work out to. And we don't want to waste your time. We want to make sure we give you the best of time while we're here on the show. And we want you to take what we say. And we got to give a big shout out to everybody. Desiree, who follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all social media platforms. Because they catch some of the clips on the show on Instagram and stuff like that. I know they catch some of the clips on your page as well. So they go back, share, let everybody know about the podcast. Like I said, we're about to get ready to go into the month of June. So we got a lot of great episodes coming up in the month of June. So we're looking forward to that for the month of June, for the summertime. We know the children are out of school for the summer. Yeah, y'all spend time with your kids, spend time with your babies. That's that time. Love your family. You know what I'm saying? Love your family. Call each other, all that foolishness, because tomorrow's not promised. So that's
right.
Sure we make amends with everybody. We may have ups and downs, disagreements, but that shouldn't cause us to fall out. Let's just make bygones be bygones, kiss and make up, and just move on and learn from it. So, Lady D, we about to get out the studio tonight. I know you had to get some rest because you are working.
Like, can you see how heavy these eyes are? Like, just working today. I'm sorry.
But you're still looking good, though. I have to tell you that.
Thank you. But that's the ring light also. That's why this isn't me investing myself. If I didn't have that ring light on, you guys could see like how early I woke up this morning. But you know what? That's also like some days I'll be like, gosh, I'm so tired. I don't know if I can do it. And then I just think, you know what? It's also an investment. I want to use my voice. And so ring light it is. And then like I get hyped afterwards. Like I feel like I can just take on another 8-hour work shift after I finish off the podcast. So
I know that's how it be, right? But Tomorrow night, we back here tomorrow night. Me, Desiree, the Quan should be with us tomorrow night as well, along with, I guess, Miss Turner here in the DFW. Silence No More is the name of tomorrow's night episode. So we'll be back tomorrow night. We thank everybody for watching us. Big out to Rebecca. She purchased the Walking This Way Impact Voice t-shirt. She sent me a picture of it, and she said the shirt's her favorite color. I have to send it to you. She may have already sent it to you. I don't know, but she sent it to me.
Listen, I'm not checking inboxes. There's about 400 something unread messages in there, and so yeah, I'm not checking. Yeah, like I just have like certain ones like that I'm like replying to, and sorry, but Rebecca, I definitely want to see it. I love you, my little soul sister. And, I'm supporting her so much for this trip to Hawaii. I know she's going to do phenomenal. And I'm so excited that she'll be on next month too. Her and another one of her queens. Heidi, is that her name?
Yeah, Heidi.
Yeah.
Heidi.
And so I'm excited to be able to meet her and hear all about what her platform is. And also, Ellie from now in LA, but originally, Montana is where I met Ellie. And so Ellie's going to be on. So we already have like a lot of really good guests that we know of that are going to be on next month. And so I'm excited for the month of June as well.
Yeah, most definitely. We got to start working on the month of July. The whole goal is to really be booked for the rest of the year. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Look, that there's 1 week that I'll be having a broadcast from Houston. So y'all are going to bear with me.
Oh, hey, that's cool. Cause
I'll be in Houston, so y'all are gonna have a whole different. You won't see me on my couch or my bed in the month of Houston. The week that I'm in Houston, but I will still be here because I'm not gonna miss out on definitely supporting the show and all of our guests.
Oh, that's cool right there. Like I said, they're gonna have fun with that. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a great night. Remember the graveyard. Everybody had one thing they come, they thought they're gonna see tomorrow, and they didn't. That's the light like it was our last. And me, Lady D, Desiree, Nicole, we back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We own Tuesday and we own Wednesday. So we're gonna be back here Wednesday night here on Walking This Way, the Impact Wars podcast. Y'all have a great night, everybody. Peace out. Big shout out to Hayisha. Also got to give a big shout out as well.
Yes. And Anthony Amos, if you're in Houston area, remember Anthony's going to be there in Houston the first of this next month. So if you guys are in Houston, definitely check out Anthony Amos's page and go there and support him at his event. He's also a veteran, so he's going to have an extra little soft spot for me, or I have a soft spot for him rather. So I definitely want to give that support for him as well.
Man, awesome. That's what's up. Like I said, we're going to be back here tomorrow night here on Walking This Way, Impact Force Podcast. Peace, everybody.